You're really good at this.
Thank you, Astolfo.
It almost makes me nervous.
It should make you nervous.
You have this grace about you, and this strength. The way you look doesn't hurt either.
You are an unrelenting flatterer.
I'm dead serious. You're a very good executive.
Well, I did have one of the highest test scores Bologna has seen in several decades. Drop the act, Astolfo. We both know we want the same thing. To be head of Bologna when Basilio retires.
That doesn't mean that we can't work together and play together.
That is exactly what it means. You and I are rivals, and all of your sweet talk is just a means to try to distract me from the task at hand.
If the task at hand is stealing my dream job, then I most certainly want to distract you. We both know Basilio has no blood heir. He's married to his work, and his mistresses are tarot cards and tea leaves. It's an odd combination, but the people seem to respect it, and he's had a really good tenure. But even though there is only one chair, there is room for more than one person at the company's head. Why do we have to be rivals? We both have talent and a certain measure of popularity. We both have put our time in, and we both can trace our bloodlines back to before Bologna became incorporated. Why shouldn't we merge our claims?
How romantic.
It could be. Why divide the company? Everyone loves a wedding. Everyone loves a good love story. And you would be a ravishingly beautiful bride.
And I am sure you would cut a dashing figure at the altar too, Astolfo. But even if I was to agree to this merger, as you call it, even if I was willing to be a wife first and a leader second, I am not willing to be the harpy that steals you from that sweet girl back home.
There is no sense in dwelling in the past.
Is it really the past? When you first gained admittance to this room, you had a picture of a very pretty girl that never left your breast pocket. I haven't seen you looking at it lately, though. Is she not from executive bloodlines? Such a shame. I recall her being very pretty, and you behaving in embarrassing and smitten ways around her picture. So you can talk all you like about joint interests and fairy tales to feed to the lower sectors. But you will have a much harder time convincing me I'm the one you are.
Am I interrupting?
Of course not.
We were just discussing a few trifles. Sir, I'm very glad you're here, and the great business of the company can now be seen to.
My esteemed colleague, Mr. Macho Beautiful.
I am glad you are both here. I have a matter of some weight to relay to you, and I hope it will not leave you too much amazed. Please, sit down. This may take some time. Now, you are both familiar with Bologna's history and with my part in its successes. What you may or may not recall is that in the days when I first took the chair, I was married. I had a beautiful young wife and hopes of a family. When she told me our hopes were realized, I thought myself the happiest of men. You know my skill in prophecy and divination. While I debated the wisdom of looking into the future of my unborn child, I could not resist, especially as his mother became increasingly beset by disturbing dreams. Night after night, she dreamed of being ripped apart by savage beasts. And so I turned to my art and found written in the stars only fear and dark forebodings. The night of his nativity, my son proved true to both his mother's fears and mine. She died in his delivery, and the night was marked by an eclipse, the like of which has not been seen since the incarnate deity was hung in blood.
I seem to remember the story, although I was not yet in this world. As a child, I heard it much talked of.
Indeed, I learned it too, the night the world went dark and Bologna lost her only heir.
I had it told so. Sigismundo's coming into the world was so bloody I feared his life would only continue in the vein. And yet, he was my son, my only family, and how could I abandon what was mine? I ran his chart through every means at my disposal. I pleaded with the stars to change their tale, but every time the story was the same. My son would be a cruel, a ruthless man, a tyrant who would run the company to ruin, and in the again turn his rage on me, and I would fall a victim to my only issue.
And the deity forbid.
I fell at last upon a sort of compromise. I announced the child had perished with his mother and had him secreted away. I designed a room where he could see a world well created. All creatures and all landscapes pass before his eyes, and he will witness, but in no way be able to harm them. I assigned a trusted man to be his keeper and his tutor, to school him well in business, history, religion, all the necessary arts. I hope in this I have not used my issue too unkindly. He has grown to manhood in confinement, companioned by his books, his keeper, and my moving pictures. But he has grown in safety too, and both his own person and this company are secure in this arrangement. I've hidden a room in a sector of the company none may come to without authorization. The very guards that walk his routes are sworn to secrecy, and he has lived undiscovered to this day.
Indeed, it is a well-kept secret. I had no knowledge of this hidden sector or its inhabitant, and there is not much in this company of which I am ignorant. Why acquaint us with this now?
Estrella, I may have kept my son a secret, but it is not secret that I have become rather old. I am beginning to think fondly of retirement and need to seek my succession. You and Astolfo have been loyal executives, and should I name either one of you to take the chair when I retire, Polonia could not say I did her any wrong. But there is a special place reserved in the heart of a company for a blood heir. And it troubles me that my fears and superstitions could deny not only my son his birthright, but my company her rightful head. I have decided to release publicly what now only the three of us and those trusted with the keeping of my son are privy to. I will free Segismundo from confinement and tell him who he is. But I will weave into the plan a failsafe, so if he prove a terror when confronted with true power, he can be safely stowed away again and none the worse off for his brief encounter with the world.
How is such a thing possible?
I will have him sedated and brought here under the thick cover of a medicated sleep. When he wakes, it will be in Sector A. He will be treated as my heir and acquainted with the workings of the company. If he proves equal to the task, he can remain and take this chair when I retire. If, on the other hand, his actions lend credence to the star's warnings, he can again travel under sedation to his previous quarters, where he will wake thinking this whole day nothing but a dream.
A strange scenario.
Quite strange. I have heard you tell the tale, and still I marvel at it.
I know you both have hopes to succeed me when I retire. And both are most worthy of the job. I trust your willingness to test this son of mine, and I promise, if he proves unfit, you both are next in the succession. But I hope you will not make me choose between you. Polonia has lived too long without a family at its helm. My early experience with marriage left me with no desire to venture again. But should you, Astolfo and Estrella, dearest executives and dearer friends, choose to merge your interests and your claims, I would most happily dance at your wedding.